Looking for that last-minute gift for the political junkie on your list? Well, we've got a great suggestion. A great read. Laws and Sausage. You never want to see either one get made. It's a book by Louisiana author and political bon vivant, Brian Trascher, who joins us today. How are you doing, Brian?
Thanks, JP.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. First time I've ever been called a bon vivant. I had to Google that to make sure you weren't insulted.
Well, you're from New Orleans.
I am.
And you love politics, so you got to be a bon vivant.
Yeah, it's true. You're right.
Tell us about the book. What inspired you to write this book? Why'd you want to write it?
So, for the last 20 years, it seems like everybody always asks, what does a lobbyist do, and how did you become one? Well, how I became one is a much longer story than what it is. So I decided to just kind of brain dump, just sort of a 101, how to get started affecting the public policy process. And it started out with just some notes, turned into a few chapters, turned into a book.
Yeah, and this is for everyone. It's not just for lobbyists, because not everybody could maybe afford a lobbyist. This is where you say that one person actually can make a difference in the process.
Absolutely, yeah. So somebody who's currently a professional lobbyist is not going to learn anything new out of this book. This is geared towards somebody that maybe thinks that it's a good idea to go march in the streets holding a sign, or maybe they want to affect some kind of change locally or statewide. This kind of gives them a good first start on how to get it done. We ask most people, what's the most important right afforded to us in the Constitution? Most people say freedom of speech. Well, I would argue that it's freedom to petition our government. We're one of the only countries in the world where we're allowed to question our leaders, and we're encouraged to do so.
Part of the title is you never want to see either one get made. Why?
Well, it comes from the old saying, laws and sausage. It was actually, it's attributed to Mark Twain and Otto Van Bismarck. It was actually John Godfrey Sachs, who was a poet and a professor at the University of Michigan, and said, laws, like sausages, cease to inspire respect in proportion to as we know how they were made. It'd be cool if people still talk that way. But if you ever watch how sausage gets made, it's not a palatable process. It's not something that is very appetizing. And if you watch how laws get made, especially kind of in the back room where the deals are really made, like the tax cut that was passed recently, how that actually ended up happening, most people probably would not like to see the process.
Well, why don't you read some from your book?
Yeah, so going back to, people asking the question, what is a lobbyist? They say, what do they call them lobbyists because you're always waiting in a lobbyist? And I say, bad lobbyists wait in the lobby, good lobbyists use a different door. But what a lobbyist does is legally and ethically influence politicians to do what we want them to do, or more particularly what our clients are paying us to have done. A lot of people will, when they go to court, they bring a lawyer. The old saying, only a person who represents himself as a fool for a client. Not necessarily true for somebody who wants to represent themselves before government. If they can afford it, it's better to have a professional representation. But what I hope is that somebody reads this book and it will give them just kind of a good go forward, jumping off point to go and meet their local city council, legislators, congressmen, senators, and talk about the issues they care about and affect the change that they'd like to see.
What sort of reaction have you gotten to the book?
It's been great. Look, after about a month after it hit Amazon, it went to #1 in political science category, which was surprising to me. And it's, of course, having been fortunate enough to have Congressman Bob Livingston write the foreword, kind of gave it some street cred and got it some play up in the D.C. inside the Beltway. It's been great. And I've just started, we started a little college tour. We're going around to political science classes and trying to get it on the required reading list at some universities. And we did our first one up at Louisiana Monroe a few weeks ago, and we had a great reaction up there. Dr. Stockley, who is the chair of the political science department, put on a great show for us, and we appreciate it. We hope to do more of that in 2018.
As we said, for the political junkie on your list, this could be a great Christmas present. Where can folks get it?
Amazon.com. It's only $9.99. If you have Prime, it's free shipping, and that's the best place to get it. Or if you can find me belly up to a bar somewhere in New Orleans, and I usually have a few copies I can sell you because I need the money to pay my tab.
Well, you've been very busy. Just got back from Cuba.
Just got back from Cuba. We're working on some really interesting stuff down there, trying to, soften the ground for when diplomatic relations start up again, we hope. But nevertheless, I brought back some good rum and cigars, which helps my diplomatic relations here in the United States.
Well, Brian, congratulations on the book. Merry Christmas. And
Merry Christmas.
Thanks for joining us, and we invite you to come back and talk politics with us
love
anytime.
to. Anytime. Thanks so much.
Well, still to come, Robert takes another look at that Christmas cool down. Yeah, the temperatures are going to drop for Santa's visit. We'll have more on that coming up after the break. But stay with us. You're watching News 2 at noon. We'll be back right after.